Hello and welcome to the 7.3 update show, Grim Omens. I'm Isaiah, your host for today, and we've got a lot to go over. We've got a brand new event, tons of awesome skins, one of which being a tier 5. And of course, we've got the balance updates coming to you. And for here, breaking that stuff down with me, I've got Pon Pon from the design team. How you doing, man?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing awesome. Super excited for this balance pass. So the bonus balance, that worked out for us last time, didn't it?
Yeah, the bonus balance went over great. We got a whole bunch of changes that the community really wanted earlier than a normal patch cycle would go for. And that's what we're doing again today. Instead of waiting for 7R3 to actually fully release, we're getting that bonus balance to you way earlier than that.
Exactly. So yeah, we're going to be going over the bonus balance headed your way on March 10th. So be working to you guys next week. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it. We've got Blink Rune first up for items, and this is a spicy one.
Yeah, Blink Rune is one of those runes that, or relics that like really allows you to be super aggressive, either as the support initiating or the jungler looking for that cheeky early gank, maybe on the mid lane. And for its potency, we've just seen it become more and more the dominant strategy. We want to tone down some of that edge. We still like the playstyle that it encourages. We just wanted to have more of a trade-off compared to other relics. So what we're doing here is we're looking to increase the cooldown and decrease the range, making it so that you have to select your opportunities more carefully, as well as what walls you can leap over with the blink, or like what distance you can close with blink.
Right, and then for the upgraded Blink Rune, the cooldown is going to remain unchanged at 120 seconds, but we're also decreasing the range on the upgraded version as well.
Correct, so yeah, decreased range on both versions, cooldown increase only on the rank 1. The decreased range also is an added incentive to upgrade it so that you can get that, especially if you combine with like a Relic Dagger on support, you can get that really low. If you choose to spend the 500 gold investment, you can definitely get that cooldown low again.
Exactly, so we're starting things off with the bang for junglers, and we've got another spicy jungle change coming your way next week on March 10th. Mace, we are decreasing the gold cost by 50 gold.
Yeah, jungler starts are very particular to each character. They often are like kill thresholds on the mini harpies, as well as like focus on trying to get a good gank going. In this case, we're actually decreasing the cost that, let's say there is an enemy on the other team that might want to invade you. Often if you went that invading, or that Hand of the Gods, you couldn't go Mace because you wouldn't be able to afford any potions. You might get like a tier 1 Transcendence instead, but then that's a trade-off on power and clear speed. Now you can go Mace, you can get a single potion, and you can get Hand of the Gods, or you can get an extra potion to keep you out longer and keep you fighting if people are trying to pressure you.
Right, so definitely looking forward to the jungle starts opening up a little bit more with this change. Next up on the list, we've got Shoes of the Magi, and there's been a lot of talk amongst the community about Shoes of the Magi and how Shoes of Focus is now the kind of standard go-to. So we're making some changes to kind of make Shoes of the Magi a little bit more appealing. We're adding 8% lifesteal and 100 mana.
Yep. So Shoes of the Magi, we removed the pen and gave it power, but there's only so much power you can give that item, because if you just gave it enough to match the pen loss, you can start obliterating anything that doesn't have magical protection, which is most of the minions and monsters on the map. So rather than trying to increase that power to more compete with its old standing, we want to give it a new niche identity, and this one is actually Sustain. So you get that little bit of extra mana to stay out, not as much as Shoes of Focus, but a little extra mana to help you get like 1 or 2 ability casts off, as well as lifesteal. The Anubises in the world are going to like this a lot. Any character that has pretty reliable safe poke, if they feel like they might get poked out and not be able to actually stay in lane, they can use this to sustain. So giving it some more identity.
Cool. All right, our last item for bonus balance, Transcendence. We are making some changes to this item. Transcendence is no longer going to provide 10% cooldown reduction on the base form, but the 10% cooldown reduction is going to stay for the evolved form.
Correct. So it's already a good item when you first purchase it. It's a large amount of power, it's a large amount of mana, and it gave you the CDR. All those combined made it basically like a no-brainer to go for. Here, now we're going to actually gate the 10% CDR into the evolved form. So if you do buy it, you have to get some investment out of getting those stacks. You have to actually build it up to get that, rather than just getting it out the gate.
Cool. All right, next up, we're going to move right on to gods. And first up, Kukulkan. He's been a top pick, top ban for our SAC qualifiers, if you guys have been watching that. We're making some changes to Power of the Wind Jewel, which is the passive. We're going to decrease the power gained. And then Spirit of the 9 Winds, we are increasing the cooldown.
Yeah, so the Cuckoo really kind of rose into prominence once we made some changes to Whirlwind. We feel like those changes really made that ability feel impactful, feel useful, and we've already partially averted some of those changes, so we've toned down some of that power, but we don't want to go all the way back because we know where Cuckoo was before that. So rather than revert Whirlwind even more, we're actually focusing Power of the Wind Jewel, which is this passive component that gives him a lot of power. Taking that takes the edge off kind of all of his abilities, and its ultimate, especially with like the slow from the 1 and teams being able to really play around this, it feels like it's more akin to actually needing a full ultimate level cooldown at 90 seconds.
Awesome. We're definitely excited to see how those changes come out. Nemesis, next up. God who hasn't seen some love in a long time. We're making some changes to Slice and Dice, decreasing the cooldown by 2 seconds there.
Yeah, so we did Nemesis change at the season patch launch. Some people felt very underwhelmed by those changes, but we also knew that going into that, we were going to have a lot of jungle meta shifts. We were going to see how Hand of the Gods interacted with everything, see how the new map interacted with everything, and so we were kind of conservative with those changes. But we saw that, yeah, Nemesis needs more than just a little bit of a scaling increase, and so decreasing Slice and Dice will give her better clear as well as better poke options when like ganking or just like trying to pressure different lanes.
All right, that wraps up the change for Nemesis. Next up, we've got Odin. Odin's been dunking a little bit too hard on people after that Dunkfather skin. So we're making some changes here to kind of bring him back in line. First up, we've got Raven Shout, decreasing the physical power scaling on the shield there. Making a change to Gungnir's Might, where we're decreasing the physical power scaling of the spear throw. And then finally, we're increasing the cooldown on Ring of Spears.
Yeah, he was just a bit too effective all over the place. The amount of damage he could put out, the amount he could sustain himself with his lower cooldown shield. We're just taking some of the power out of that. So the bird bomb damage is going down because that's affected by the shield health. His survivability is going down. Some of the extra damage he gets when he actually throws Gungnir's Might is going down. So overall, less damage and sustain there. As well as Ring of the Spears. That is an ultimate that really controls the fight now, especially with its more wider use cases if people actually escape out of it.
Right.
And so it deserves an ultimate level cooldown of 90 seconds.
Cool. All right. And then last up for bonus balance on the God side of things, we've got Vamana. So the big baby got buffed, and we're going to be toning that down, actually shifting a little bit of the buff a little bit. So for the change, we are now providing the 3% movement speed per stack on successful hit, and it's going to stack up to 5. And this is changed from the 5% movement speed when it was stacking up to 3.
Yeah, this made his ultimate feel much more impactful, especially if you could successfully hit targets with it. But the reward is a bit too easy to stack up. So now if you want to actually get to that full movement speed, you have to get more hits off, which also gives the enemy a more opportunity to juke or try and cancel up time on that.
Cool. All right, that wraps it up for bonus balance heading your way on March 10th. But we wanted to take a little bit of time to kind of show off some of the content that's coming your way on March 10th. We're only going to be showing the card art here, but be sure to stay tuned. We've got a live Q&A scheduled for later on in the show where we'll be going in game, showing off more stuff in depth, where you guys be able to hang out with us. So the first skin on the list that we're going to be showing you guys is Neon Rebellion Rama. And this one, the card art looks super sick. It's got the cyberpunk vibes, that aesthetic.
That mask. I love that mask.
It looks so cool. And it's been a while since Rama got a skin too, so this one is definitely going to be met with a lot of awesome reception to the community. I gotta wonder
what that ult looks like.
Oh yeah, I know. It's going to be awesome. All right, next up on the list, Adventurers Guild Bastet. And if you've been paying attention, this was actually teased at our last Hi-Rez Presents during the Smite portion of the video.
Yeah. Oh, those cats are so cool.
Yeah, I know. This one's got the JRPG vibes. It's looking really awesome. And then last up on the list, we want to remind you that the final event reward for Jade Corruption, where Rama and Bastet skins are going to be gotten, is the Hydro Machina Poseidon skin there. And we showed it on the last update show, but be sure you buy all 3 bundles in the Jade Corruption event to get this awesome unlimited skin. All right, and then our last skin that's coming your way on March 10th, it's going to be Funpocalypse Uller. This one is just so silly. He's ready to start some mischief.
It's so creepy. Like, all it takes is like having like that cartoony mask is so fun, but then you see all the apocalypse in the background, and it is just
I know. He's just like, this is kind of in the same vein as the Shibalanke skin that came out, and the duck head is what sets it off for me. Yeah. It's going to be awesome. So all that stuff, the bonus balance we just went over, and the content that's coming your way. Look forward to that Tuesday, March 10th. But now we've got some super exciting esports news. Be sure to check this out.
You know, Isaiah, the more I think about it, the more we should just go back to the Cobb Energy Centre. The fans loved it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Hey, let's ask Spark.
Hey, Bob, what do you think about going back to Hi-Rez Expo at the Cobb Energy Centre?
I like it.
Well, just as you saw there, Hi-Rez Expo 2021 is going to be happening back at Cobb kind of fun, right? To kind of be back to where it all started, right?
Yeah, it's really
Finishing
exciting.
over.
It's,
Yeah.
it's kind of like going home, I think.
I think so, a little bit
Yeah, a little
like
bit.
going home. Plus, it's back in January. I know that date does work better for some people too. So, happening back January 8th through the 10th at the Cobb Energy Center. That's pretty cool. Anything else you want to tell us about that? When can people start picking up tickets and such?
So tickets go on sale the same day that SPL goes live. It's going to be a big day, March 14th. And you can go to hirezexpo.com for more information.
That's right. Go ahead and pick up those tickets as soon as possible. That way that we know that you'll be there. Haven't figured out what I'm going to be doing for everyone that ends up coming to the event. Let me workshop that as we get closer to the event. So let's talk a little bit more about some other esports news going to be happening in the next few weeks. First thing is, as you said, the SPL is going to be starting March 14th, and schedules and stuff like that are out now, so you can go ahead and see when your favorite teams are playing.
Yeah, exactly. The match schedule is now available in-game in the esports and live stream tab, so you can go check that out, see when your favorite team is going to play, and pick up some cosmetics to support your squad at the same time.
That sounds good. I've already picked up my Ghost stuff. You know your boy
Good choice.
been in a Roar stand for a minute now, so I got to support him. It's hard not to be, right? Got to support him as soon as that is available. Next thing to talk about, the SCC group stages are going to be happening this weekend too, so make sure you all tune in to check those out.
Yeah, these guys have been fighting really, really hard for several weeks to secure a spot in these group stages, and now only the best of the best are actually going to qualify to phase 1 of the SCC.
I imagine it's going to be pretty grueling, but even if they do not make it, it's not going to be necessarily the end of the road for them. The open circuit bracket, that's going to be starting on March 7th, I believe. Right?
Yeah,
Anyone
that's
can play in
really
that.
soon. It's coming up really fast. So the open circuit is an entry-level bracket that anyone can join. So if you have a team of 5 people and you think you have what it takes to go pro, well, you should definitely sign up.
Yeah, this is your chance to kind of put your money where your mouth is and come in and play with some of your friends. And
I'm looking at you, Twitch chat.
see if you can win some Smite games. That's right, Twitch. I feel like you guys always have so much to say, you know. Show us what you can do when you actually start playing some games. And then I did also want to let you all know one more thing. If you want to see that, to sign up, that's esports.smitegame.com if you want to be in that open bracket. And then also we got the Wednesday content block coming up here as well. So just a reminder, there's a ton of new broadcast stuff that's happening. That's all centered around Smite.
Yeah, lots of great studio shows going on. You can learn how to play Smite, you can watch the pros do some stuff, you can get dev insights, all kinds of neat stuff. And you earn viewer points the entire time it's happening.
That's right, yeah. And my show is going to be happening
Yeah.
too. Game night, if you want to watch me and Dave compete while also playing with some of the cool devs behind the scenes. There's a lot of cool stuff there. And the art show, I know when that show happens, if your stuff gets picked up for that, you could potentially win an avatar in-game as well.
Yeah, exactly. So if you submit to the art show or you submit to This Month in Smite and we use your content on the show, you do get an in-game avatar to show that you supported our programming.
Yeah, kind of like that Forge Breaker title. So a lot of cool stuff that you could potentially earn just from watching, hanging out, and enjoying all the Smite-related content. But that's going to do it for us here on the barrel set, I
Yeah.
suppose, here talking about esports. Let's get it back over to Isaiah and AJ. They got a little bit more to tell us about Balance.
Thanks so much, Arvin and Finch. Hi-Rez Expo 2021, January 8th through 10th. Be sure to mark those calendars and get ready for tickets to go on sale next Saturday, March 14th. But now it's time for us to go over everything headed your way in the 7.3 update when it goes live on March 24th. We're going to kick things off with Balance, and for that, I've got AJ, lead designer, with me. How you doing, man?
Doing great. I'm super stoked about that Hi-Rez Expo announcement.
Yeah,
Can't
I
wait.
know.
It's going to be so
I
much
cannot
fun.
wait to go back to the Cobb Energy Center.
Woo,
It's just
feels
something
good.
about the vibe in that arena when esports is going on.
Feels good. Feels
Yeah,
good.
it's going to be awesome. So we're going to kick things off with Item Balance coming on March 24th, and let's get right into it. We've got Mage's Blessing, the evolved form. We're going to be increasing the magical power from 20 to 30.
So Mage's Blessing has fallen out of favor a little bit here. We've been seeing a lot of the artifact rush. We've been seeing some Bancroft's rush.
A little bit
you
of
know.
T2 book.
Yeah. Some, of course, there's always the book starts. And the Mage Blessing just kind of fell off. So we wanted to up that a little bit. Now we adjusted the boots as well. So we're splitting those changes up between the bonus balance and the actual patch, which is going to be interesting to see how mages kind of adjust their starts 2 times in the next couple weeks.
Cool, awesome. So next up, we've got another mage item, Enchanted Ring. We're increasing the cost from 1,100 to 1,300, and we're also going to be increasing the power from 40 to 55.
Right, so we've been trying to smooth out the power curves for mage ADCs, especially in those ring items. This one still felt a little awkward. It was like really cheap, but not cheap enough where it felt like you could get it at a meaningful time, but then it felt really weak, and then you had this weird gap before you could upgrade it. So we increasing the power and increasing the cost, so that should make it feel better to buy at that in-between stages.
Right, cool. All right, and then last up for item changes on March 24th, it's been kind of the talk of the town recently, Devourer's Gauntlet. We're going to be increasing the base physical lifesteal from 10% to 15%.
Right, so there's always the Devourers versus Transcendence. This is the...
And now Bloodforge is in the mix.
Right,
Yeah.
so, Bloodforge is actually taking a place of Transcendence as something that you don't have to stack. So people are running Transcendence, or even just if they're not going stacks at all, they can fit in that item. So we want to make sure that there's a good balance between all of those items. Transcendence, as we already saw, got a little nerf. So Devourers is also getting a little buff. We're making sure not to go overboard on Devourer's Gauntlets. We know there's a lot of people in the community really thinking like Devourers needed a lot. But with these other changes in context, I think it makes sense to make a small change here, trying to make sure we don't overdo things like, the old days of like Wukong and Bluestone, like radical changes at the same time, right? That can always cause issues. So excited to see how the Transcendence Devourers shift really opens up some more Hunter options.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how those early Hunter builds kind of shake out once these changes goes live.
For sure.
All right, next up, we're going to right into Gods, and we've got a spicy one to start off with. Aphrodite, we're going to make a change to Kiss. We're going to be reducing the cooldown on that. And then Lovebirds, we're now adding an initial hit to this ability.
Yeah, these are both impactful changes. Now, we know the community has been really lately. There's a lot of reasons why that could be. It is not because of her stats, though. Like, she is performing pretty well in many places.
Go and check the Smite GG real quick.
Yeah, she does well, but she's very, very low play count. A lot of players feel like, people, when they counter build her properly, can shut her down. Healing is still very strong in the game, though. We don't feel like we want to be adjusting anti-healing and a lot of those rules. Those counters need to exist. But we wanted to make sure that we could address some of the key impact of Aphrodite. So that Lovebirds change, that's always a feels good. Like, it feels kind of strange in Smite to be hit by something but not have damage or CC apply right away, and then it takes some additional time. That's going to just make the ability feel a lot more responsive. It's also adding a significant amount of total damage to the ability. So I think mid full damage Aphrodite is going to be back in the meta after this change. It's going to be very interesting. The Kiss, also just quality of life. You're often changing that around. You get the cooldown reduction for hitting allies, but you need it as a core CC. So these are two impactful changes, and the community is really down on Aphrodite. I hope that they feel a lot better after these changes, and we see her win rate go even higher.
Nice. All right, next up, we've got Cerberus. We're going to be making some changes to his base stats here. We're going to be increasing the HP per level from 86 to 95.
Yeah, Cerberus, he struggled a little bit. He got buffs a little ways back, still right on the edge. We were talking with a lot of the pro players about which supports and solo laners were feeling good, which ones were feeling a little outside the edge of the meta. So Cerberus, this HP buff, and this is the, it says base, which might be misleading, but this is the HP per level.
Ah, yes.
So you see here, that's 9 HP per level. That adds up times 20. Like,
Right.
That's an item.
Yeah.
Pretty much. So that's gonna be pretty impactful.
Cool. All right. Next up, we've got another one of those feels good changes that we were talking about. We've got Guan Yu, Warrior's Will. We are going to be removing the camera lock whenever you use this ability.
Now, I've argued with the players many times on what is a quality of life.
Right.
And then we've even had to decide the term quality of life buff, which is still technically a buff, but quality of life. This is true quality of life. This doesn't necessarily make the character any stronger in any way. It's purely based on certain players' usability. And most dashes and things like that, many dashes, you can rotate the camera while the character is moving. This one is extremely fast and extremely short, so this is a very minor change, but we hope that some of the Guan Yu specialists out there, some of us internally were doing some more Guan Yu testing, and we felt this felt strange, a little inconsistent. So this will help you better set up for your follow-up attacks after using the dash.
Awesome. Yeah, hopefully this ability feels a little bit better whenever you fire it.
I just love a true quality.
Yeah.
It's rare. It's real rare. Someone out there is probably like, no, it's a buff. You're wrong, Ajax. I'm sure it's already flying through chat, but I think this is a pretty interesting change.
Nice, yeah, definitely excited to see that one. We got Merlin up next, getting a little bit of a nerf. We're going to be decreasing the magical power scaling on Dragonfire from 25% to 20%, and then Elemental Mastery, we're decreasing the magical power scaling from 20% to 15%.
Now, we've nerfed Merlin a few times.
Yeah.
He has responded to them. He's moving down. He's still very high pick and ban and performance, especially in the higher ranked play and pro play. Had a lot of pro players been requesting nerfs for him. We've seen that he's still doing quite well. These two changes meant to address two key parts of his damage, mostly Dragonfire, that's for objective secure, and if you get caught in that, the amount of damage is pretty absurd.
It just like chunks you.
Yeah, and then the Elemental Mastery, that's that close area effect pulse outs you get from all of his different stance changes once you rank them up. That's scaling damage going down as well, which that's not going to affect a lot of players, but it is very impactful at the pro play. You'll see a lot of the more skilled Merlin players will get into that tight range where they can hit you with that ability as well as their 1-2 from 2 different stances plus the ultimate, it really adds up. So this will take a little bit of damage out of that full rotation.
Cool. So Merlin the Master Wizard still mastering those elements, but just a little bit less potent on a couple of abilities there. All right, next up we've got a fun one. New Wa. We're making some changes to Clay Soldiers. We're increasing the base movement speed from 365 to 425, and then we're actually decreasing the cooldown from 18 seconds to 16 seconds there.
Right, so this ability is kind of like a catalyst for her kit. A lot of her kit has synergy with it. I mean, the Shining Metal does, literally. The Fog is a cool way to like send the minions through stealth or to like speed yourself up to set yourself up. So this ability kind of had a core involvement in her kit, and it felt a little underwhelming. Now these minions, they have that dash, but if they don't catch up through that, oftentimes they feel like laughably slow. But now it's like they buy boots almost, as if the game goes on. So they get a little faster, and the cooldown there is going to matter a lot because they can put out a lot of damage. The Shining Metal also has very low cooldown already, so you're not going to be bottlenecked by that for doing the combo explode, which is very potent if you hit it properly.
Oh, yeah.
Another character that the players really, we could tell that people were not picking her up as much as she used to be. People really just feel like she didn't have a place in the meta right now. We tried to find a couple really like fun buffs throughout this patch, normally what we call them in like our internal phrasing, some fun buffs. We really try to find characters that players are really down on, try to give them something meaningful and impactful, and make sure that they can compete.
Cool. All right, next up, we've got Olorun. So we made a change to one of the magical ADC items, and we actually got a couple of mage ADC changes. Olorun's going to be the first of those. First up for Olorun, Touch of Fate. We are increasing Olorun's critical hits from 50% to 60% damage. Focused Light, we are increasing the damage on that. And then Consecration, we are increasing the slow from 20% to 30%.
So we did try to adjust some of the mage ADC items to make mage ADCs feel better, but they are still underperforming in Season 7. I know there was a lot of debate about that with all the changes at 7.1, and we are pretty clearly seeing now in the stats the mage ADCs are underperforming. That's why Olorun here is getting some pretty significant buffs. You're going to see some pretty significant buffs from another mage ADC coming up. That I think a lot of people have expressed interest in this, and they're really feeling it. So we've seen Olorun maybe show up in some high-level play, like very rarely.
Right, I mean, his ultimate is still super impactful.
It is impactful, but he has a very weak early game. He can have a really struggle to lane clear and to peel for himself, especially in the very early game. That slow is going to do a lot to help that, and a little bit of that damage buff as well. So I'm excited to see him. Hopefully he can feel like he's not just an alt bot, as they say. We don't like it whenever a character feels like that. That's not our intent. So this should help him feel like his whole kit is more cohesive and powerful.
Cool. All right. Next up, we've got another mage, and it's Persephone. And there's a little bit to unpack here.
You're gonna read all those?
I'm gonna go through the changes first, and then kind of let you explain.
Okay.
So the major change here is going to be to Harvest. For general, we're decreasing the pre-fire time from 0.2 seconds to 0.1 second. And then we're decreasing the minimum distance between harvest placements from 5 units to 2.5 units. And still with Harvest, but on the Sprout version, we are decreasing the time the base harvest plant takes to evolve from 4 seconds to 2.5 seconds. And then Harvest, the flower version, we're decreasing the time the base harvest plant takes to evolve into a flower from 24 seconds to 16 seconds. We are decreasing the chase time from 3 seconds to 2.2 seconds and increasing the flower movement speed from 440 to 600. And then last, on the ultimate, we're decreasing the speed at which the tether reaches out and grabs you by 50%, and then we're decreasing the attack speed penalty on that ultimate ability as well.
Okay, right. Like
Yes,
you said, that was a
lots
lot.
to unpack.
So Persephone is a complex character. She's also a complex character to balance, as she is to play. We see that her win rates are pretty clearly low everywhere. And this is a common thing we see with difficult to play gods. But she's still a high priority in pro play. She still has specialists who can dominate with her. So we're trying to make her a little bit more consistent throughout a lot of those changes, trying to rough out some of the edges when it comes to actually using Harvest and using it as a damaging ability since it's so different. And then we're also looking at decreasing just the general effectiveness of her ultimate. A lot of players felt like Persephone gets by on her ultimate being so good that even if you're not good at the rest of her kit, you can still perform okay by throwing out a few good ultimates. Again, like we kind of mentioned with Olorun, we want to make this kit feel more balanced across the kit, not necessarily just in scope to the rest of the game. So really what you're going to see here is Harvest is going to be a little less restrictive on the placement, so you can place things closer, you can place them quicker. They're also going to upgrade a little quicker. Now the plants change, that's a big one too, because we've adjusted this a few times. We're trying to get the right level of having this AI-driven character that feels dodgeable but still scary.
Yeah, trying to hit that sweet spot.
Right, so people have learned that you can kind of dodge the flowers pretty easily by running right at them, running past the cone. You can still do that now, but they're gonna move faster and they're gonna chase you. So you're gonna have actually a harder time when you're running away. So you need to be a little bit more aware of what the flowers are doing. You need to really commit to dodging them, or you're gonna need to like leap away, or you need to have some fast movement speed to get away from them. It's gonna make them a lot more consistent. And then Grasp of Death, that additional tether, which is very strong, that has some tween time. When you enter the area, the vine kind of reaches out to you. We're slowing that down so you have more time to be like, oh, here it comes, and back out, so you don't get trapped there with the target. It's a very strong CC, so that's gonna give you more time to react. And the attack speed penalty on the person trapped is being nerfed, so they'll be able to break themselves out more easily. So 2 big nerfs to the alt. You could say a series of buffs to Harvest. Again, this character's win rate is really low across the board. So we're trying to even that out a little bit. Very interested to see how she goes forward with this. We're committed to making sure that Persephone stays a high skill character, but we don't want her so high skill that she's completely unplayable to most people. And the pro players specifically have often expressed their frustrations at just how good that ultimate is. So we would love to adjust this kit to where it feels like her kit works together, as opposed to someone just kind of fumbling through this minigame mechanic and then shooting a big ultimate.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty big shift for Persephone. I'm curious to see where she lands after everything.
She is a crazy character to work
Yes.
on. You know, shout outs to Pon for his dedication to this character. She is tricky to work with. And shout outs to the players for keep playing her, keep testing her, and the pros for being so communicative about her
Most
strengths
definitely.
and her weaknesses.
Yeah.
So thank
Cool.
you.
All right, next up, wait, did you work this in? This wasn't on my initial notes. This is a Sobek buff.
Yeah.
We've
Everybody
got
thinks of me as the Goobus main. They
Right?
don't know
Yeah.
about closed beta Ajax.
Oh,
They
yeah.
played Sobek. I mean,
Exactly.
although I do like to tell that story.
So we've got some changes to his base stats here. We're increasing the HP per level from 86 to 95, and then Sickening Strike, we're increasing the healing per hit from 20 to 60 to 30 to 70.
Right, so Sobek, previously very scary to buff because he dominates the solo lane, but 7-1 Guardian's Blessing changes don't let you get the sustain unless you're with somebody else. So that strategy is significantly weakened, or at least we haven't really seen it yet. We've seen some Guardians, but they're usually not going Guardian's Blessing. They have to play more actively. This might bring him back a little bit, but he's been really struggling. He hasn't been a real popular support pick lately. He hasn't been a real popular solo pick. He's getting similar changes as to Cerberus. He had kind of strangely low base HP per level for how, all in he is. His ultimate does a pretty good job of peeling and escaping, but he has to charge prey into the fight, and if you mess that up, you're going to take a lot of damage.
Right, yes.
Even if you hit someone, most of the time, you're going to take a lot of damage. So this is going to feel better for him. Also, just giving him a little bit of that sustain that's going to make him feel really good in lane, whether he goes solo or support. I'm a Gator fan. I'm happy to see
you go.
Sobek coming back. So
Awesome. All right, next up, we've got that second mage ADC that we were kind of hinting at earlier. Soul getting some buffs here. Unstable Manifestation, we're actually making it to where Soul loses heat less fast once the heat starts to decay. And that's going to be a reduction of 25%. Radiance, the damage from this ability will no longer cause minion hit reactions. And last but not least, Supernova, the time between shots is going to be decreased. We're actually increasing the height gain from firing this ability from 10 to 40.
Right, so a few things here. Soul has some very interesting variables to adjust, by the way, as we learned as we were recently restudying her. She's definitely felt weaker to players. We've seen a steep drop off in her play count, and we've seen a lot of players sharing their feedback about how she doesn't feel as good as she used to. So this heat reduction, that's actually, there's a little bit of delay where she doesn't lose any heat until if she hasn't gained any, then it starts to lose really fast. That really fast part is what we're slowing down. So it still can be, it feels relatively quick, but it's gonna feel a little slower. You'll have a little bit more time to catch up. It won't be as punishing. The Radiance, that's a very specific, if you play a lot of Soul, it's a very specific laning mechanic frustration. This ability is a small circle with pulsing damage, and if minion knockback is on it, it knocks the minions out of the area, and they don't take the full damage. So now it won't do that. When you place it on minions, you're gonna keep hitting them. Feels a lot better. And then finally, Supernova. Now this ability has had a pretty interesting history, internal and external now. And what we've done here is giving you the same amount of time to to place your supernova targets, but now once they start detonating, they will detonate much faster. So from the first hit to the last hit, those hits happen faster. Gives you a better chance of hitting a target multiple times in a row. It speeds up just her burst damage, like if you're using this on a Gold Fury or Fire Giant, it actually puts out that damage faster. It's a pretty intense change. And then finally, the heat gain there. It felt weird that on her ultimate ability, she gained like this minuscule amount of heat, whereas like she gains a lot of heat from Radiance. That ability is intended to be the heat generator, but we want this to have that as well. We want Sol to just feel like her kit is not as punishing to itself or counterproductive when she's firing things, so she's going to be gaining more heat here too.
Yep. So yeah, Sol's kind of fallen out of the meta for a long time, so hopefully we'll be able to see her more in your Conquest games.
Right.
And then our last change for balance here, we've got Shin Tian. We are actually decreasing the duration of the root on Hook Slam, and then Sky Cutting Axe, we are decreasing the damage on that ability.
So here's our final meta nerf, as I would say. Although I'm not sure if everybody knows how meta
He's
Shin
still
Tian is
flying
right now.
kind of under the radar.
It's crazy how long this god has flown under the radar. He's insanely good. He has been insanely good since our Project Olympus like hardcore code update to him. He became very strong. He's been a top pro pick, not a super popular normal pick, although his win percentage is through the roof. But the fact that he's just dominating pro play right now made it clear that we needed to see some small adjustment, and of course, very high-ranked play. Very, very popular high-ranked pick. Very successful god at those stages. So wanted to make sure we get more competitive outlook. Maybe make some room for Sobek and Cerberus. You know?
Yeah, there you go.
So we'll see. But this character has been doing really well.
Awesome. Well, that wraps it up for the God changes coming your way when the 7.3 Grim Omens update goes live on March 24th, tentatively planned. But we actually want to get into another thing that's coming your way March 24th. Smite's got a birthday coming up, and we're actually kind of going all in and going big for this one. We've got a brand new birthday event that's all engagement. You guys are going to be able to earn tons of free stuff just by playing Smite whenever the update goes live.
Right, so every year we do something to celebrate kind of our launch day.
Yeah.
So this year we have this beautiful Smite birthday event screen, and it's themed around the beginning of Season 7, the new Joust map, and the launch of Mulan. So you have a kind of Chinese Pantheon aesthetic here. And what you see here is a calendar. And what we're looking at is the fully unlocked version. But as the event progresses, these items are going to light up, and you're going to be able to earn one free reward every single day that this event
just
is
by playing
ongoing.
a game. So the rewards change. Like if you miss a day, you can't go back and get it. So you got to make sure you log in and get the rewards. But we've got jump stamps, avatars. I see a section where you can earn some free Smite gems in there, plus a ton more. And we actually, if you guys remember, we had the community birthday submission. So a lot of the jump stamps and avatars there are actually community created art. So I got to give a quick shout outs to all the people that were chosen. We've got Nianise, Jade Rapid, Kamikaze Draws, Cherry Cake 4, Chess Elf, and Pitar 123.
Nice job with those names, Isaiah.
Yeah, all had content coming in the birthday event. So we're super excited. We're glad that you've hung out with us so long, and just another awesome way to celebrate Smite's birthday.
Really, this is a way of thanking our players. Like, we really appreciate our community and people's dedication to the game. So this is a cool little event that you'll be able to earn something new every day. Make sure you play every day, because if you miss one, you can't go back and get that specific day's reward will be gone. And if you play, I think it was 5 or 6 days, you will get an additional bonus reward. If you play any of the 5 days, you'll get something there. And I think we've stacked the slightly better stuff on the weekends, so some of the cooler
more
art,
time to play.
Yeah, avatars, jump stamps, some of those like are on the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So if you can't play every day, you know you're busy. We understand. But we want to make sure that everyone can participate and everyone can get something. And you'll be able to see the full schedule and how many days it counts down. So if there's something you really look forward to, you can go ahead and plan ahead to make sure you play. But thank you to everyone out there for playing Smite, and happy birthday again.
Happy birthday, Smite.
We've seen Season 7, we're still going strong.
I know, right?
It's beautiful.
Many more years to come. All right, that wraps it up for the birthday event. Now it's time to talk about some skins. We've got an all-new Battle Pass headed your way in the 7.3 update, and it's called Lightbringers, and it is all Angels themed, tons of light. We've got tons of awesome skins in that one. We're actually going to take a little bit. We're going to go over the card art, kind of like what we did earlier. The first skin in the Battle Pass that we kind of want to show you guys is Divine Shine Right Jing Wei, and the card art is absolutely awesome on that one. I love the light theme skins. Like, I'm a sucker for white, like super light yellows and stuff like that. Jing Wei is looking awesome.
White is a really cool color in games. You know, you can do so much with it.
Yeah.
You can see here she has a little bit more of a prismatic kind of vibe, a little colorful, and a little bit of a high fashion feel to her, which I think fits Jingwei really well. And we said angelic, you know, a lot of people imagine some more like golds and oranges, and you're going to see those soon.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But we found a way to diversify Jingwei, who's a little more fashionable. We have another one who's a little bit more crystalline, and then finally we have someone who is the Archon, really, of the
Right,
update.
exactly.
Which
Yeah, we're going to go in game for that one.
And all three of these skins turned out beautifully. I know my Jingwei fans out there, oh hey fams, all y'all are excited for this one.
All right, next up, we've got the Battle Pass Recolor. This is Fallen Arbiter Chalk. And this is actually a recolor of the, I forget the name of it, but he had the super huge hammer that came out a couple seasons ago.
Yeah,
and
kind
this
of
one's
a
got
paladin,
those orange vibes, yeah.
Kind of paladin theme. And we did a little darker take on this one, more like a Chaos Angel or Fallen Angel, but this is an angelic theme at heart. And we thought it added a nice bit of mix-up and flavor to the Battle Pass.
Exactly. All right, next up, we've got Sacred Grounds Geb, which is actually a community concept that we saw on Reddit, and we're super excited for this one to make it into this Battle Pass.
Yes, we worked with the artist of the original concept to bring this skin to life. Geb has not had a skin in a very long time, and this one was extremely popular within the community. And you know, since he hasn't gotten a skin in a while, we had some really good ideas, but we thought this one was really cool. He is a walking cathedral. Yes. Which is a great way to round out this theme. He's not literally an angel himself. He is like their home. And that is just such a cool way to do Geb because he is, you know, the earth personified. So this skin looks really cool.
Cool. All right, and we wanted to show you guys our favorite skin from this Battle Pass in game. This is so dope. Radiant Archon Ra. And that Archon, he lives up to the name there. He looks so awesome, and I believe we're actually ready to go in game here. That way you guys can check it out and just wait till you guys see it. It's super awesome.
We went all out on this skin. There you go.
Oh, those
It
wings.
might be bringing back some memories to Archon Thanatos.
Yep.
If you were not able to attain that skin, here is the next skin, really the first one in the Archon theme since then.
Yes.
So we went all out on the wings, the effects. It's Ra. He's got a little bit more of a humanoid appearance to himself. As you see, he doesn't have a bird beak anymore in that helmet, which I think is a really cool twist on Ra. He just makes so much sense for an angelic
those
character
effects are
since
so
he's
good.
a light god, you know, a sun god. Yeah, this skin is straight up gorgeous.
Yeah, dude, the effects, the wings, like, it's so crazy. Look at that ultimate, just that beam of light just shooting right at you. I think I see some sort of like symbols and engrams when he's charging it up.
Right.
The effects team went all out on this one.
Just look at all the detail in there. Yeah, the effects team really, they went all out.
Cool. Well, that is Radiant Archon Ra. Let's go ahead and take a listen to the voice pack.
I will not suffer your presence. We have been watching, and you have all been judged as irredeemable. I bring the heavenly armies to purge this land. Let evil be cleansed.
Cool. Well, that is Radiant Archon Ra coming your way in the next Battle Pass. And we've got another skin coming up your way on March 24th. We've got Bone Chiller Scotty as a part of the Ghostmancer chest. Now, we just saw a whole lot of light skins, so we got to bring things over to the dark side a little bit. This one kind of reminded me of that old Fiend Hunter Artio skin, where it's more Victorian, right, AJ?
It's an interesting take on a horror theme. Yeah, you can see Scotty here has a ghost dog instead of an elemental ice dog, and those, you know, she's got some really interesting kind of creepy bits to her armor, almost like spider legs there that have replaced her normal
it's
antlers
really
headdress back armor. It's very interesting for sure. I'm really excited to see this one.
Cool. All right, that wraps it up for the Ghostmancer chest. We've got a whole lot of content, and just a reminder, we're only going through the card art. If you guys want to stick around and see some of that more stuff in game, we're going to be doing a live Q&A later on in the show with Tina and Clumsy, so be sure to stay tuned. But I've got Tina here, and I've got Chris Lee from the effects department here to kind of break down Smite's newest event, Grim Omens. How you guys doing, Chris and Tina?
Pretty good, man.
Good, yeah, excellent.
Awesome. So we've got a brand new major event coming to Smite called Grim Omens. It's the patch namesake. AJ, what's going on in Grim Omens?
So our event's always following the core storyline of Smite. This is going to follow Mulan as she goes through her adventure and meets the next upcoming gods. She's going to be, you know, she's new to this whole godliness thing, so she's going to be seeking out some allies from the gods, specifically Guan Yu, kind of takes her under his wing and is going to guide her towards the way she can meet with the rest of the gods. She's going to encounter a kind of strange ally along the way in the name of Persephone, who, she's made a lot of mistakes, so naturally she's seeking out some goddess who might not be aware of all those things that she's done, and she's going to do her best to make things right, even though things went pretty horribly wrong. And we're going to see these grim omens, these signs of something scary to come.
Well, I've seen the omens, and they're definitely grim. So
it's gonna unfold to a very exciting God launch a little later this year.
Yeah, super exciting. So just a couple of things to break down the event. Of course, with every event, we've got tons of awesome content headed your way. Buy All is back because we've got a brand new Tier 5 skin coming as the final reward. You guys may have seen it in the blog post yesterday, but Totem Caller Hu Yi is the ultimate reward for this event, and it's going to be available when the event starts because we've got to buy all.
Right? Yep.
It's going to be awesome. So this is a chapter-based event, and every chapter has a chest with 6 items. If you unlock all the items in the chest, then you get an event reward. And then if you unlock all 24 items in the event, you get the Totem Caller Hu Yi Tier 5 skin. And we're actually making a little bit of changes here. It's going to be awesome. Every chapter is going to be discounted when it's live. And also, every skin in the event is going to have a direct purchase option for 750 gems, and those skins are going to be direct purchase forever.
Right.
Super exciting. So so all the chapter rewards, every chapter has quests. And Tina, do you kind of want to break down how the quests work in this event?
Yeah, so when you purchase an item from a chapter, you unlock that chapter's quests as well. So, and each chest, quest, there's going to be 2 quests per chapter, and each chest, God damn it. Each quest, each quest will reward 50 gems.
So you get gems back you only have to get one thing from each chapter and you can get gems back. And actually there are 4 chapters this year, so that means even more quests to get gems back and even more free Tier 4 reward skins. So on your way to the Tier 5, you'll actually get 4 skins for free on the way, where you usually used to get 3.
Yeah, if my quick maths are
Just a
if
great
are going
number,
right,
right,
that's a
Chris?
total like 400 free gems that you're able to get through the event, which is super awesome.
Yes.
Cool. All right. So speaking of the awesome content in the event, we're going to go ahead and show off some of the card art here for the Chapter 1 skins in Grim Omens. If you guys want to, take a look at it in game, be sure stay tuned for the live Q&A. But the first one that we want to show off, Demon's Bane Merlin, and my guy is looking so clean in that suit. Look at that.
He
right?
is handsome.
Weird.
Yeah. Even Tina made a little noise before he came up on screen. She was anticipating.
Right, she was ready.
So
for it.
if you want to see all the details about this beautiful gentleman, stick around after the show. Tina will walk you through and talk about her favorite parts of the skin and just show off. This skin turned out really well.
Yeah.
I really like this fashionable look for
Exactly.
Merlin.
He is clean stepping on the scene, as I like to say.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of the kind of modern day Witch Hunter, Demon
Mm-hmm.
Slayer types of themes we've explored a little bit. Not too far off from the Scotty theme, I guess you could say, but clearly in a different faction or a different alliance than her. And you can see there he's kind of relying on some sort of a demonic energy for his powers.
Oh, yeah.
And he's also got a little bit of a gadget steampunk type of feel to him, right, Chris?
Yeah. Nice.
It's a very interesting take on Merlin, and I'm really happy with what the effects team was able to do there. It's very, very unique and novel.
Cool. All right. Next up is Brood Mother Medusa, and I don't want to stay on this too long, but we got to show it. It's real creepy. What do you guys think?
It's nasty. It's real nasty, dude.
It is badass, is what it is. It's scary and it's creepy, and we wanted to try something really different. A lot of our team struggles with this skin. But if you really want to strike fear into the hearts of your opponents and possibly allies, then go ahead and check this one out.
Yeah, if you play the skin against me,
It's F6.
I am already
Just
F6.
F6.
Yeah, I'm out.
And as usual, someone will find a way to like slow time down and take a look at her face
Exactly,
it's real
Oh,
scary
yeah.
too. Which is
All right.
It's hard to get a good look at it, but it's worth
And
it.
her
Yeah. All right.
little
The next
legs
one that we're
animate.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her little legs are like.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
Moving
All right, next up
around,
on the list, because I can't look at this too
twitching.
long, Primal Vengeance Nemesis, another skin in the first half of the Chapter 1 of Grim Omens. This one's in the line of that Primal Hunter Ares skin, looking really cool. I just love the armor accents on these types of skins.
Really cool kind of fantasy adventurer style armor. felt really fitting to Nemesis with her normal style of headdress and kind of covering her face partially. So the skull and her, the sword, they went all out on the sword.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's a sweet.
All right.
The
And
color
old
of the
sword.
armor is
Yeah.
really bright, actually, when you see it.
Oh, I like that.
It stands out a lot.
nice. All right. The last card art that we want to show, we want to give you guys an early sneak peek at Chapter 1's unlimited skin reward, MedTech Aphrodite.
So you'll get this one when you complete the
When you
chapter.
complete
but there's still a
chapter
few
1.
more skins to complete the chapter that we
Yes.
haven't shown yet. We're going to show next update.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, this is a tier 4 Aphrodite. Definitely, we've had a lot of feedback about Aphrodite not having a skin that like really adds like a whole bunch to her. A lot of her skins are very elegant and she's wearing kind of a similar clothing style. But this one we really pushed it. Now she has these like mechanical gun, like what are they, Tina? They're like healing
they're
beam
healing beam
guns
Yeah.
on her shoulders
rays.
and a whole new treatment on her outfit and her cloth. And she even has this little MedTech drone that
Yeah,
hangs
the
out with her
drone.
and it talks, right?
I love the little
it
derp face
says-
on there.
It says one line.
Oh yeah. He's used in an ability and he's got his catchphrase that
Yeah.
he says when he uses when he's using his ability.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
really
MedTech
cool.
Aphrodite, that is your unlimited Chapter 1 reward. But we got to talk about the ultimate Grim Omens reward, Tier 5 Totem Caller Hu Yi. And AJ, I'll kind of let you take the reins on this.
So yeah, we'll set the stage for Hu Yi takes the place of a shaman of a fantasy universe where he has meditated alone in nature and trained and triumphed and eventually gains the ability to command the power of these spirit animals or totem creatures. And what we've done here is a completely new take on a Tier 5 skin. First of all, it's got a brand new theme, something not quite like we've ever done before. We've also got all of these pets. These are gonna all be with Hu Yi throughout combat. And there is one for each of his abilities and for his basic attacks. And they all have names that Tina has given so cutely. And you will see them throughout his kit during his animations, as he runs around, during his idles, his run, his taunts, laughs, and jokes. He will have a special emote that actually has 3 special emotes where each interacts, spends a little extra quality time with each of the 3 creatures for
Exactly.
his core 3 abilities. And his armor still changes now.
Yes,
this
what
is
level
the
does he
armored
evolve?
up version,
Yeah.
level 10. There's the level 1 through 9 version,
Yeah.
where you can see that beautiful face that our art team and modelers have just been, killing it the last few years and just making our humans look more detailed and realistic than ever. So here you get to see that before he puts on his kind of more intimidating armor at higher levels. And he's got those 2 forms, and in addition to those 2 forms, it's the creatures is really what this skin is all about.
Exactly.
And those are not the only creatures.
Yeah, there's one that's
There's one
I
more.
kind of see
Now,
him in the back,
you
but
can
he's a little
kinda
bit
see
too
him back
big.
there.
No spoilers, all right?
Yeah, you can
All
kind of
right.
see him back there.
Well,
but
let's go ahead
He's so
and
big he can't fit
let's
on
get
frame,
into
we'll just
game
say.
here because I know everybody is super excited to see. And just look at that. The animation treatments on the pets. The guy flying around. I
So
see.
there's with that was with one of the special emotes active that triggered the Flutter Fiend. Tina, correct me if I'm getting their names wrong.
Yeah, Flutterfiend.
And now you can see Burrowsaur and Ghoulipaw are following him
Don't lie on
around.
my names.
Burrowsaur is underground,
Yeah. He's there. You see him.
and Ghoulipaw is a little wisp, and they from time to time will pop out and animate and do dolphin jumps and yawns and other cute little things throughout the gameplay. Now, each one of these abilities corresponds to a creature.
Yes.
So he's got, first of all, the basic attacks was replaced with a little fire lizard, which actually we didn't name him. Maybe we'll do a community thing.
Yeah,
We
go
call-
back.
yeah, maybe
Chad,
we-
if you have a good name for the fire lizard for
Yeah, maybe
basic
we'll do
attack.
like
Yeah.
a poll or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe we'll let Hindu Man name him something silly like he has in the past.
Yeah.
Bobo or whatever. So that's your basic attacks. Ability 1 is Ricochet, and Ricochet is featuring Burrowsaur, he's energetic and lively.
Yeah.
He's like a creature of pure energy.
Yes.
So he is the projectile of the Ricochet.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes flying at rapid speeds with his mouth open and his tongue out,
Yeah, he's
ready
so
to
cute.
attack whoever Hu Yi commands.
He's gonna slow it down, and so
Oh,
you
nice.
can see
Yeah,
his tongue.
see Burrowsaur in action.
Yeah, you can see his tongue coming out. Oh, that's a little too fast, maybe.
And you can see him flying, almost belly flopping through the air. He's moving so fast.
Oh, he's coming.
It's his tongue. It's so
Oh,
cool.
Lord.
That's your Ricochet.
Yep.
Ability 2 is going to be the spectral spirit animal.
Ghoulipaw.
Ghoulipaw. and he's gonna fly and kind of creep on who he wants to mark, right?
He's cuddling him for death.
Yeah. So he flies there. You still get the stun combo, of course. The kit remains intact, but there's just a lot of different variations of the visuals here. You can also notice that when you fire an ability, they cease to follow Hui for a short period of time. And then once they've completed their ability, they come back. And there we use the Flutter Fiend for the ability 3. Picks him up into the air, dive bombs along with Hui.
Flutter Fiend, huh?
Flutter Fiend, go!
All right, and what about the ultimate? What's going on for that ultimate?
What about the ultimate?
What about it?
Oh my God! Oh, there he is.
Skybreaker,
Yes.
as we like to call him.
That is his name, and I would say confidently he is the biggest character in Smite history.
Yes.
So cool.
That is nuts. Oh my goodness. You can see him like literally all the way across the map.
He is taller than Mount Olympus. Look at that.
Yeah.
He's touching the tree.
Easily.
There's
towers.
2 of them.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you're able to fire on cooldown cheats mode, like we are
Pawn
now,
could put like 6 of them on the map, and
Only
it'll
one
crash.
Oh my
is
god,
on
just
YouTube.
straight out of the Chaos Tower.
perfectly fires through that spiral of smoke, which was like, that was a bit of a part for us.
Oh my goodness.
Too many! He looks over the arena stands. He is massive. And he fires this ultimate down from the heavens, bursting enemies in the area 7 times, like Hui's striking suns. And it's really cool because actually Hui's suns, space skin, you can actually see those crashing down from quite a good distance away.
And there's the level 10 version, the evolved version that Pawn just set level 2. Chris, I know a ton of work went into all the effects and stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of what did you have to go through to make all this happen?
It was just, we kind of had to make everything feel different and unique. We didn't want to cover up the effects, or cover up the pets themselves with effects, so we tried to make them complementary to the pets themselves. I think this is just fantastic. I think the pets are adorable.
I'm blown away. This is like a new take on a tier 5, and like I'm so stoked to play it.
It is. It's something we've never done before. We know our players are constantly pushing us to do things like that, and I think the team really delivered here. For the recall, the Burrow Sword digs a little hole for Hui, which then he jumps down in.
Oh, that's awesome.
That we are using that was one of the special emotes there. Here, we'll look at it. You can see him dig. Whoop. So each time you use a special emote, it'll cycle through. So this one's got Flutter Fiend flying around. If they use the special emote again, you might get the Burrow Sword. There's the Burrow Sword one. He rolls really, really quickly around you. And then you also get Flutter Fiend doing little like dolphin leaping.
Oh, he's cute.
So cute, man.
They all have their own personalities. Burrowsaur is really energetic and hyper, and Ghoulipaw is kind of mischievous and looming, and then Flutterfiend is very just laid back and chill and friendly. I don't know what Skybreaker is. He's just a boss.
He's just awesome.
I will say, while he's doing the VXG, those pets should be disappeared, but it's kind of in progress right now. So it'll be cleaned up before it's released.
Yeah.
Good call. There's certainly a few things we're still looking at. I'm not seeing the pets come out of their animations as much while firing him, which I know we were still adjusting that rate that they'll play those. Like Burrowsaur, it should be doing these like kind of dolphin jumps fairly often while you're running around like this. And Ghoulipaw has like a couple animations. He like comes out and like yawns and stretches, which is really cute.
Nice.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
so awesome.
Now you can see them interact very well, I believe, if you would stand still. You will see some of these, where you see a different
And while
set
he's
of them.
standing still, let's go ahead and take a listen to the voice pack.
There's still so much to learn from these creatures. Look to the skies and witness your doom. Time to throw caution to the wind.
So cool. And I know Tina had a lot of fun writing that voice pack.
Okay,
Tina, who did the voice pack?
One of my favorite voice actors ever. His name is Doug Cockle, and he voices one of my favorite video game characters ever, Geralt of Rivia. So, of course, I was like, could you please voice this awesome, amazing Tier 5 for us? Thank you.
I love that we can use
And he was
our-
very
our-
excited to do
You know,
it.
Tina has built up a great relationship with a lot of very famous
Most
voice
definitely.
actors, so it's great that we can call them up and we have a special project to be like, yo, we have a very high profile item. Are you interested?
Exactly.
And they're like, yes, we are.
Oh,
Hold
yeah.
on, we have to see a few more animations. Don't take me out of game.
Oh, yeah.
We're just about out of time. We've
No,
got the
one
live
more.
Q&A
No,
later on.
I promised
the
the
live
animation team
Q&A.
I would show the laugh, clap, and talk. You have
All
to
right.
go back. You have to. Thank you. This is the laugh. You get the boop the snoot, and then they laugh together. Come
Oh
on.
my
How can you
goodness.
not see that? Do the.
Talk.
Oh, okay, we're gonna do it twice. I thought we were out of time. Isaiah.
adorable.
Now we have time. We need to do the clap, and you. That's the taunt. So they kind of all get in formation, and all
cool.
together
Already.
kind of roar
Yeah.
at your enemy.
Oh.
Show no mercy for those who spill blood.
There's some very cute sound effects. Do the clap. Do the clap. It's the best one.
Oh my gosh.
I can't. What's happening?
He holds
The-
up the,
the
little
little
dragon,
fire lizard
the
and
little
he
fire lizard.
claps.
And then he does the clap, and he does like a very quiet little.
Oh, it's so cute.
And then there's also the wave, which you'll need to zoom back out a little for that one because you can see him. For the wave, Burrowstar comes out over there and behind him.
Where?
Burrowstar comes up under Hu Yi's feet and kind of
And
puts him
waves,
off,
yeah.
off his balance, and then comes up behind him and throws this big exaggerated wave.
Cool.
And we should set up a second client so we can look at both from all these different views. The animation team went all out.
They
on
went
these.
ham,
It was a
yes.
lot of trouble to actually get Hu Yi to interact with the creatures and for everything to line up. It was a really big technical challenge. The AI involved in the pets, even the pets they're purely artistic, just to fall around him and animate and do these things, had a ton of code go into it. I believe the engineer on Tier 5 PvE even mentioned that the Tier 5's artistic code is longer than Hu Yi's kit.
He said it's
That's
like
nuts.
3 times the size of base Hui.
So the actual abilities were much easier to code than the art you're seeing here and all these extra features and these extra behaviors. It's a beautiful combination of art and technology to make this skin possible. The tech art and the effects team, like Chris here, had to work really hard to make Skybreaker a reality.
Put in overtime,
It was
yeah.
crazy. We were not sure it was going to work. Same with even interacting with the pets and getting them all to line up, making sure when he's petting this little creature that he's actually getting his hand in the right place, getting all that
Exactly,
stuff.
yeah.
The team really worked really hard. And there's going to be a behind the scenes video
Yes.
that we're doing that's
Yeah,
going to
we're
show you
working on
more
it.
about that. Yeah, which is really cool, which I'm really excited about.
Well, that wraps it up for Tier 5 Totem Caller Hu Yi. We've actually got another set of news for you. We're actually going to be starting Odyssey Tier 5 voting later on this week. We've got the bracket set. Go ahead and we're going to tweet out the bracket. That way you guys can predict your matchups. Lots of awesome matchups going on in this bracket here.
Oh, man. I have no idea.
Yeah, I
who's gonna
know.
win.
I don't even know. I have to go through. I know we sent out like a company-wide bracket. I still haven't done mine yet, but
Couple new names on there.
new names. Yep, cool.
Ooh.
Well, that wraps it up for our Grim Omens update show. Thanks so much for tuning in. We've got a live Q&A, so be sure to keep it locked, and we'll see you next time.